Faeces in the street. Yes, that got your attention. So Richard Tice is doing something that obviously his boss is not, or doesn't seem to be doing. He's holding surgeries and meeting with his constituents and listening to their problems. Now, he says here that some people in Boston are willing to leave because society is completely collapsing, that law and order has broken down. Although, if you look at the image he's standing in front of, it looks quite pleasant. Anyway, let's have a listen to what he had to say.
Another busy day in Boston. I've just finished a surgery, and so distressing hearing constituents and business owners say to me that one of them said, I'm a Bostonian, I feel as though I'm being run out of my own town, run out of my own community. The decline in behavioural standards, reports of faeces, violence, antisocial behaviour, impossible to get the police to attend. This is what Nigel Farage was talking about at his press conference on Monday. Britain is facing societal collapse. We've got protests because of illegal immigration. We've got just a complete decline and collapse of behavioural standards in Boston, in towns up and down the country. It's completely unacceptable. It's got to change. But if you want reform, you've got to vote reform.
Okay. Once again, I think the place looks quite pleasant. It doesn't look all that bad. So society is collapsing. And one of the things he mentioned here is behavioural standards. Now, I'm not sure exactly what he means, but if he's talking about faeces in the street, perhaps he's talking about public toilets not being available to people. I'm not defending people doing it in the streets. They shouldn't do that. But in many cases, public toilets are broken or not available for people. And unfortunately, maybe if you have to go, you have to go. Once again, I'm not defending that. I don't think people should be doing that. But if you have to go, you have to go. And the problem is not the people. The problem is the public services that are not available. So now, why is that happening? Well, because the Tories in particular cut funding for councils over the last number of years. Is Richard Tice complaining about that? No, he's complaining about the consequences of that. Business owners not happy with behaviour in society. I'm not exactly sure what he means by that, but we can probably tap into the idea of antisocial behaviour, the police not turning up. Well, why is that happening? Well, because the police are overstretched. And who's responsible for that? Well, the Conservatives didn't hire enough police officers and they didn't invest enough in the police service. So that has to change. Is Reform UK demanding more resources for the police? I don't know. They seem to be more concerned about the consequences as opposed to the core problem. And of course, immigration. Well, we don't see many immigrants running rampant, running riot all over the streets there in Boston. It seems, once again, a very pleasant place to live. They're trying to present this image that society is collapsing, that everything is out of control, that nothing works, that streets are filthy, businesses are closing, people who should stay in the country are leaving, and people who shouldn't be in the country are coming in. And of course, they need this narrative in order to convince people that things are getting worse and you have to vote for an alternative. And the alternative, of course, is Nigel Farage and reform. That's what they're trying to sell. But they have to build up this image first that everything is collapsing. Now, some things are pretty terrible, but once again, the blame has to be laid at the door of the Conservative Party and the previous administrations. That has to be reinforced. Reform are not going to do that because it doesn't serve their purposes. They will say, yes, the Tories destroyed everything. But Labour are not fixing it, so you have to vote for us. And we need to push back on that. They need to be called out because, once again, their goal is not to improve the lives of ordinary people. It's to improve the lives of some people, the richest in society. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.